of the devil, and it shall appear.
And indeed, look at what we have here. Scum Battania already preparing for an invasion. And indeed, you see this a lot. We're going to be able to cut off a few boats here. I wonder how many armies she called. A lot of times, and maybe it's a bug, but a lot of times they will not deviate. They will try to get to her even at their own expense. Well, you ain't making it away. We got our big ship here. And excellent, we're recording, right? We can get some sea combat for this campaign. Glaron Heavyhand gets seasick, so he likes to kill people as quick as possible so he can get off the ocean. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stay completely off the ocean here. We're going to try to level up his bosun, his mariner skill. After all, I was in the United States Coast Guard. I can handle some 20-foot rollers. We'll talk more about perks, but I'm far from an expert at this stage. Maybe we'll respec at some point. And in we go. Hopefully we get a couple 3 battles. We've already had a couple sea battles for this campaign, but none of them were recorded. I looked down and my little white orb was not there. We've got our new Drakkar, right? So we've got our mothership. It's pretty badass. It's fast. It's big. I think it can handle 100 troops. We're going to have an infantry boat in the first boat, or the second boat. We're going to do some tactics when it comes to ships. But compared to land, it's much less tactically oriented and much more about positioning your ships on the ocean, right? We're going to try to flank the enemy. We've got a lot of archers, right? We talked about it a half hour ago during a siege. Our army is probably 60% archers and 80% ranged units. You could see tons of Sky Gods Chosen up and down our ships. It's another reason why archers perhaps should be nerfed in Bannerlord, because they're already deadly at range, siege battles, kiting. They shouldn't be deadly in every single scenario, should they, right? That's why they nerfed Fiend Champs and Cons Guards. I think archers, generally speaking, could be nerfed about 20-30%, and they would still be just fine. That said, the player who doesn't use tactics doesn't know what all the hype is about, doesn't know what all the fuss is about archers. We're going to show you. Hopefully battles like this help show you. Now, look at the grain, right? This army here has no chance of winning. I think that calculates in our NORD advantages here, and we're going to slaughter these Battanians. Now, we're going to try to ram them when we can, but we don't actually have a ram, so it's not effective. It's more practice, and I missed it here. I haven't been practicing that much on my shipboard abilities. Plus, it's a raging storm. There's thunder crackling, but we do have this boat flanked and pinched something fierce, and I don't think it's going to matter, right? The power bar tells you that. Board, boys. Now you just wanted to board. Attempt boarding. Hit the R button. Yeah, board. What I said. Now we will use the RTS mod for the shipboard battles. Beautifully, it works for both, so we don't have to slog through. If there are moments where the battles are sort of lagging, we will just cruise through it. But I want to show several ship battles for this campaign, and hopefully we can get some monster ship battles. We're going to do everything we can to encourage it, even though Glaron Heavyhand would prefer to get his axe on the enemy's face on land. He's still going to work on his shipboard skills here. We're just going to play like a bull regularly in combat, just barrel our way forward. He's 2 foot taller than everybody else. Why would he be afraid, right? We're just going to kick some bitches, get off, and then cut them apart with our axe here. That guy vaporized. He like went into the ground or something. And Battanians are getting shoved in something fierce here. They're just piling up carcasses. This poor guy's all by himself. At him, lads! No mercy. Is that it? Oh, there's one little other boat left. And that was just a graveyard of Battanians here. Man, they got their shit shoved in hard. And I see us gaining mariner skills, right? We're on 1.38 still. I know there's a new patch, 1.39. Maybe we're on it. I didn't see if it downloaded. But whatever the case is, the Nords are beasts in the sea. I mean, we were going to win this battle anyways, but we might have had a flawless victory. We had 1 casualty. And hopefully, there's a bunch of more ships behind him, right? We can do some power leveling of Glaron Heavyhand. He just looks awesome. He looks like the prototypical Viking out of some kind of comic book or something like that. Big old bear's head. And what's great is it's a legendary bear's head or whatever it's called, bear's cloak. So it's pretty good armor, right? It's not as good as, like a top tier, but it's like 1 notch below. So we're going to roll with it for a little while here. If we start getting killed left and right in battle, we will change it out. Now, I'm not going to take any of these ships, right? These ships are for poor people. We're not poor. Glaron Heavyhand hates ships. He's going to have those scuttled. We'll have the bodies of the Battanians dragged down to the bottom of the ocean where they belong. And how many other armies are following this Battanian force, right? Let's investigate. Oh, shit. Well, here's a real challenge. 370. We're still fighting, right? We're on the ocean. The ocean is ours, bitches. We're the Nords. We're here to rock your world. The power bar significantly favors them, so we will literally rub our hands together because this is what I practically live for this shit. Don't tell my wife. All right, let's see. I think we're going to do melee handling perks when it comes to Glaron Heavyhand. We're going to have a lot of melee units still, and of course you can use the Sky God's Chosen as melee units, right? So it's a nice combination. And do a few other perks here. I'm a little nervous, right? These kind of battles here, if you get captured, it kind of derails everything. They take your shit. But no pain, no gain, no risk. Something, some Roman fucking quote, you know, for seize the day, carpe some fucking diem. We're gonna make shirts and mugs eventually for the Patreon fellas. Carpe fucking diem, right? Seize the fucking day here. All right, so infantry first boat. Let's give them good troops because a lot of times in a battle like this, we're gonna send that second boat in to die, right? Those who are about to die, we salute you. We're going to send them in. I'll get rid of my awful accent here, and we're gonna do lots of skirmishing and archers with the first boat. We've got. Okay, all the boats are kind of mixed, which is fine. We have some infantry on all the boats. I don't mind having some, but we have 61 archers on our mothership here, and it's not quite full. So I think that has to do with some of our mariner skills aren't quite maxed out. We can still handle 15 lads on this ship, and it just looks badass, right? I think it's the largest Viking ship you can have. One of these Drakkar, right? It's this huge longboat. And they're pretty mobile. They're pretty quick. They got a single sail, which is a disadvantage. And we have a raging storm here. I mean, we're going over 15-foot swells. It's 5 meters for you European fellas. 4.5 meters. And we're going to try to ram here again, but I don't think it's, you know, really what we're trying to do when we ram is disrupt them and also cross their T's. I want all of our archers shooting right down their chute. Basically, if they're in a line and we're flanking them, all of our archers could shoot at all of their troops. I know, you know, when it came to modern warfare, early modern warfare, 1800s, that was a tactic you would attempt. It's dangerous too, though, right? If you're outnumbered, you obviously get plastered. So we'll see. We'll try to isolate a couple of the smaller boats. And I would love to tell you at this stage that we're an ocean tactic master. We're not, right? We're still getting our experience up here. I've probably had less than 20 battles on the ocean. Significant battles. I don't mean sea raiders. Shit doesn't even count. All right. Crossing their front nicely. I'm going to try to ram this boat here. It looks like it's a fucking merchant cog. You bunch of cheap-ass Battanian bitches. You can't even afford warships. Have some of that up your ass, right? Or grind up your paint job. The sounds are great. It's just... All right, we got a nice crossing of the T here. Let's use these other boats, right? We've got these two other boats. The archer boat we want to keep at range. The second boat we're going to send in behind us. And ranged battles is the order of the day. As long as I don't see Fiend champions all over their decks, we want to fight at range. Now, they're pulling us in here, but that's very much like trying to corner a lion. This is not advised behavior. I mean, we've got 90 Nords that are very eager to board their ship. Come on in. The other ship's coming behind us. We are going to get pinched here a bit. But we're badly outnumbered for ships, but our troop numbers is not too far off, right? Even though they're surrounding us here, we have like more troops than their two ships. I see a lot of Battanian scouts too. And I LOL inside. Now they got some archers at the back. I better keep moving here. It looks like there's a lord back there getting shot. We still got 3/4 of a health bar. And we're getting pinched a bit. Where's our help here? Where's our other boat? Get over here. We got ourselves a real brawl here. This is gnarly. We're getting pinched, but we've got a good amount of lads on both sides. Let's hit them with some throwing axes. Have some of that, you bitches. I can jump on these boats too. You gotta time it right with the swells too. It makes you nervous. The boat's going up and down with the waves. It's great effects. Man, it's awesome. All right, let's do this shit. Oh, and I timed it poorly. All right, fortunately our guy here is not wearing heavy armor. Let's get back on our climbing net and we can try that again. Nothing happened, nothing to see here. You guys didn't see me. Oops, let's not jump yet. Let's not look like a dipshit twice. Oh, we got a lot of archers still on our boat. Let's catch a swell here. Either one of these boats would be good to jump on, and there we go. We caught it just right. Now you fuckers are fucked. When Glaron Heavyhand is on your boat, you're a dead man. Oh, shit. With their lords getting a hold of me. Well, she went down fast. I heard all Battanian women go down that easy. They just love going down. Maybe we'll get ourselves a Battanian wife here. I was able to jump up on the rail. I was actually trying to get to that spot to jump off. You can jump off and get back on. It's a little bit of an exploit. This battle's over, though. We're backing this force to their ship, just man cleaving them, kicking them back onto their boat, and, well, we've got some balance issues here. There's all kinds of corpses in the water. It's amazing, man. Are there still bugs? Are there still janky parts? No question, but how are you going to beat this? There's a big roller I can catch right onto the net here. That felt like real life. I didn't quite grab it as that roller came up. I missed it. Now we'll get it. Onto the boat we go. Finish them off, lads! Their shields are crumpling. What's left? We've blasted these Battanians. We're all rafted up here, so our mobility's kind of fucked. These guys are halfway in between, but that's why you want to have archers. You can hear them click, 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 still shooting. I can't see what's left here. What are we facing? It doesn't look like there's any enemies left. Where's our other boat? Let's see if we can't get a better view up here. This is like the captain's mast. And is that it? There's a single boat? There should be. Where's our other boat? There's like 5 Battanians rowing over there. Those guys are dead. Oh shit, it's way off in the distance. Get over here. They're probably going to get caught up and killed. We'll see. They're outnumbered over there. The effects feel great. There's a lot of strange parts to it, but the lanterns swinging all over the place. I was able to jump onto the boat. It surged up on a wave as I jumped over. It shit just feels real. And I can tell you, as a guy who's been on the water a fair bit, and I've had a lot of guys write in the comments, right? I'm a commercial fisherman, blah, 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 and this ocean shit is great. They say it's almost perfect. Like the effects, the waves, how it affects and pushes your boats around, and each time you get rolled up and stuff like that. All right, I'm trying to tell these guys to cut free to catch up to this boat. So normally, there we go. And get them back on the boat, and then you tell them X, which is cut free. I think I'll cut this one myself. And I think we'll be loose here to help the other boat out. Like I said, again, we will speed some components of this up, but initially, especially here, I want to do, well, frankly, I'm learning too. I'd love to say, you know, we're going to speed this up because I know exactly what I'm doing. We've got the wind. In fact, we're going to have the wind all the way around here to flank this guy. He's being chased. I mean, the battle's over. I hate to ruin your suspense. We've throttled this second Battanian force, and we're going to be able to ride the wind here right to the opposite flank of that guy. One thing you definitely want to do tactically is get on both sides of the enemy, right? Just like the Battanians tried to do there. The difference is you want to do it with numbers. That was like 60 Battanians trying to circle our 100 Nords, which is pretty similar to you going down to the swamps of Florida, you and your friend getting on the opposite sides of a 15-foot alligator and trying to jump on it. It's not going to go particularly well. Did not go well for the Battanians. And this is sort of my first big look at Nords in the ocean, and they destroy, right? They mangle shit, especially after the updates. Board, bitches. See, the boarding is a little janky here. I can't tell my guys to board. I'm trying. Board! There we go. There we go. Well, maybe it's because there's a ship in our way. We should be able to raft up with these guys. Raft up. Oh, shit. And, of course, the waves are going crazy. In real life, too, this would be extremely hard to board. You know, there's waves all over the place. You'd break a leg or get amputated and shit with waves like this. You know, this would be extremely dangerous. And no mercy now, right? We're just going to wade onto these Battanian ships. Fuck you guys. This guy's trying to shoot me. I don't think so, dude. This is where that long axe is going to pay off. Uh-oh. There's a Lord and a Fiend champ. Or a hero. I'm fucked. I just got cornered. Well, where the fuck are the rest of the guys here? I guess I was the only one who came over on the boat. Now we go out like a man here, kicking and swinging. Fuck you, bitches. Alright, sometimes you look like a punk. Alright, let's fast forward the rest of this. What do they have, like 20 troops stuck up there? They're being shot to death. Our guys will drag my enormous body back onto our Viking boat. And another smashing here. We were badly outnumbered here. The power bar favored the enemy and we pulverized them. Wait, 28 losses? 27 losses? That'll do. And look at the archers, right? We talked about it. An 11-to-1 kill ratio. And this is beautiful, right? This we can put on the front of our boat, right? I think a siren is like a naked chick with tits hanging out. So we're going to draw the enemy in. That was, I think, one of the ancient old wives' tales, is there were naked women out there in the ocean that would drag off husbands, you know, with lust and shit like that. And then the guys would get drowned in the ocean. Housewives everywhere worried about the big busty women in the ocean. Upgrades galore and beautiful. How many more, right? Maybe there's more Battanians. They're just coming in a big long row, and I feel a little bit like a fox following a mama goose, and there's all these goslings behind him. Yeah, I don't want any of these ghetto ships. To hell with your ghetto ships. I know you can sell them, but we don't need money, right? And all these things do is encumber and drag you down. I want mobility, and we have 500,000 gold and probably 500,000 loot too, right? So to hell with all that. Let's kill. I mean, the Battanian forces here, there's a decent chance there's more coming. And here they come. They're coming from land right onto the ship. And maybe it's not an optimal system, right? These boats are not making much attempt to get around us. In fact, we'll fight the bigger of the two. I can probably just farm them. You guys don't want to sit through battle after battle, right? So let's just fight this boat of even quality. We're probably going to be favored, but like I said, we're going to have at least... This whole episode probably will be shipboard battle. Maybe we get another one after this. Another battle where theoretically it's close, and I just don't think it's going to be, right? And we're power leveling our mariner's skill. And that's, you know, that's with a modicum of attribute points pushed towards it. The attributes to me are off, and they have changed them multiple times. So what I mean by that is the attributes that are connected to mariner, bosun, bosun. It's B-O-S-N is basically the easiest way to pronounce bosun mate. Bosun mate, I was in the United States Coast Guard, and I forgot to pronounce it. The first episode or two of the DLC, I was going, boatswain. It's bosun. You know, they got like this English abbreviated thing. And I think we'll try to develop a couple of mariners here. We're just going to flatten this force, so we don't need to stand too much on ceremony here. What was I saying? Oh, the mariner skill here. We're going to turn up, let's see. It's actually a lot of Battanians, 120, 130. You can't take these for granted because I don't want to suffer 80 casualties here and the next boat capture us. But the mariner skill, bosun skill, those things aren't really tied to what you think they would be. For example, the mariner skill is definitely what we're going to be leveling Glaron Heavyhand with because it's combat based, right? When you hack and slash people on the boat, you get mariner skill. It's hard to even describe the bosun and shipmaster skills. Like it's more admin than combat. So your mariner is clearly like fighting on the ship, when in reality, I think, like if you ask people in the military or any military service across the world, I think bosun's mate is more of the guy who's on top of the ship working. Now get going, man. I'm waiting for this guy to cross traffic lanes here, and I don't know. Those guys in that boat are rowing slow. We might even hit him here. Get going. Damn it. I'm trying to use the second boat as bait. you know, we're trying to develop some tactics that'll consistently work for us and you, right? You can send your boats where you want now. That was not a thing originally. I think they were worried that people would be overwhelmed. Oh shit, they have artillery. Well, let's get going here. Let's move quickly to their side. Oh shit, it almost hit me. Most artillery only shoots out of the front. So the key, of course, is using the wind to get behind the enemy, right? So that's exactly what we're going to do, right? We're going to swing in behind them here. We've got the archer boat following us, and our archers are shooting. Anyways, at some point or other, we'll talk more about it, and I'll make sure that I have the information correct. What I say is that your mariner skill, bosun skill, they're tied to your attributes, and they're, damn it, they're 2 each. In other words, there's 2 attributes that affect mariner, 2 that affect bosun, etc. And they're not really logical. They're, like, if I remember right, intelligence is one of the things that affects mariner skill. And if it's combat, it should be, you know, vigor and endurance or something like that. Anyways, we'll talk about it more. Not too worried about it here. Maybe it'll get adjusted even by the time you're watching this. Now, all I'm doing here, if you're curious, is just trying to stay 30 meters from these boats. In fact, I'll do the little overhead view occasionally so you can see it. We're skirmishing, right? We've got the other boat trying to outrun them. Meanwhile, we're just strafing them from behind. So this would be like you're fighting you're fighting you and your friend against one guy, and he's chasing your friend. Meanwhile, you're kicking the guy in the ass while he chases your friend. I hear people drowning too. All we're trying to do here is skirmish because we have superior ranged units. They don't seem to have tons of fiend champs. And we got a little boat trying to board us here. Bad decision. The Nords we're very eager to fight you. You know, if you have a boat full of archers as the Nords, you win, right? Because you're crushing everything at range. And then, of course, you get up close and you crush everything up close. You definitely want some Huskarls or Huskarls, and we have a few. But I think, you know, for ship combat, I think I could argue 60-70% archers is fine, maybe even optimal. Got our long axe here. It's going to pay dividends in this kind of a battle, too, because I can hit guys a long ways away. It's fast. It's long. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of phone calls from adult movie networks. They're interested. All right, now the other boat's kind of getting throttled here. We got to try to get back to our boat. Let's see if we can't do this. We're still trying to refine our skills. These guys are still trying to grapple. They're stuck in the grappling pose. Little bugs like this. Some guys complain. You just get over it, right? It's a minor thing. Who cares if the animation is temporary? All right, now this I care about. Cut loose. I told him cut loose. There's the message. Face Fister, if you're curious. That's the name of our boat. The Face Fister. All right, so if we're cut loose, get on the oars. This might be a thing with too many archers. Our guys are like, why would I get on the oars? There's people to shoot, Captain. They're not doing what I told them to do, and I'm literally mashing buttons right now. Get onto the oars. I'm trying to get to the other side of these boats. Here we go. Maybe. They're a little bit like teenagers, right? You tell them to do something and they power trip you by doing it when they want to, right? You're like, you need to clean your room, and they don't do it till the next day, just so they can show you that they're a sentient being that thinks. I'm gonna turn hard here, try to get to the other side here, flank this Battanian boat. And we aren't just winning these battles, we're fucking melting these Battanians. We might try 500 or 600 with our 150. I think on the ocean, our advantage is so great that it might make for some comical massacres. We might be able to take a huge army. In fact, this is giving me the confidence to try 500, 600, 700, where the power bar looks stupid, where basically power bar says give up, surrender, you can't win. Now we can just flank them, right? They're attacking our boats, and all you do is just bring your guys up alongside here. I like to tell them no more oar use, right? You can tell the guys stop using the oars. That way every single archer lines up to shoot, and the arrows start flying, and the death spam fizzes as the enemy gets insta-killed. All you can hear is Battanians screaming. They're just being shredded. They're halfway in between the two boats, shot in the back. There's a lord that looks like a wax figure on their boat. I saw an arrow go through her, and it looks like it was bugged or something. She just vanished. She's a ghost. And that's what we're doing to these Battanian forces. We're just ghosting one force after another. None of these battles are close. I mean, the losses are starting to accumulate here. We are starting to suffer death, but what is that, 3 battles in a row? Just plowing. We're just destroying this whole Battanian force before it can even assemble on land. That gal, you could picture her. She's talking to her aide de camp, and he's like, we know those 7 armies, you called them, but we're getting reports that they're getting ambushed by what? By a small group of Nords. Well, where are they? I think all our Battanian forces are dead, sir. And beautiful. Another speed banner, right? That's superb, right? Because now we can stick that on a skirmisher and or a shock troop division. We are going to mix in shock troops in this campaign eventually. Shock troops, your 2-handed units, mostly axemen, but we have the Ulfhednar, right? We have this polearm wielding Ulfhednar, and they are savage. Well, let's see here. It's been a long... How do we do this? I guess we could separate that siege. Here's what we're going to do. I've got that siege episode. We've got a Battanian force here we can attack. I've got that siege episode. I think what we'll do is we'll just separate them. I'm leaning towards 30-minute episodes, right? Guys are more receptive to it. I'm a mathematically minded fellow, so I do all kinds of studying of the analytics. And there's definitely, it seems like an exhaustion with some videos where you guys get a little bit petered out after 20 or 30 minutes. It might just be the modern attention span. So what do we do here? We've got 37 minutes. We'll just break this episode off right here, right? I'll say my normal spiel. Thanks again for watching, friends. This campaign is going to probably run to 25, 30 episodes. It's going to cover the vast majority of a War Sales DLC campaign played from the helm of an axe-bearing savage murderer. We're going to try to develop the most powerful character in the history of Bannerlord, right? We're going to try to develop Glaron Heavyhand into more or less the perfect being on the battlefield. Lethal axe skills, maneuverability, combined with tactics. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to participate in this journey, now's your chance to subscribe. Please hit that like button on the way out, regardless. I guess unless you didn't like it. And with all that said, friends, I will see you next time. You know what? Let's attach this to it. A false ending. These Battanians or Valandians are just here waiting to be slaughtered. Let's go ahead and stick this on the episode as well. I don't know. Maybe something interesting will happen. Another battle where we're favorite. So to heck with all that. That exit will just, I stopped recording. We'll snip these two together. And one more ship battle for this episode. There's a lot of guys that are trying to learn. I'm still trying to learn. We've got 4 boats now, so you have to actually choose. You don't, I'll slip this point in. You don't get more than 3 ships by yourself until you get perks, which are very high level skill. I think you have to get to like 200 bosun skill to get more ships, 150, something like that. You don't get them at the beginning, basically. Or you have other armies with you. So once you're in the vassal stage and you have 2, 3, 4 other armies with you, then you get more ships. And you can get to the maximum 8. But I think they basically designed it so that you have to get deeper into your campaign before you can command 8 boats. So even though we have 4 boats and enough troops for them to be adequately manned, we only get 3. So I'll just slip that in here in case that benefits 100 guys that are watching. If you're wondering why you only have 3, you have to get certain perks. We'll look at that a little closer, right? I'll talk about the actual perks, and of course, we will be a vassal pretty soon, right? I'm not going to stand on ceremony too long here with this force. I was aiming for 500,000 gold. We're there. Now we've got a whole bunch of loot to sell. We're innumerably rich at this stage, right? We have virtually unlimited money, although as we've already seen, the gear is expensive, right? So maybe I'll push it a little bit further. I don't want to have to let a beautiful axe or whatever, a piece of armor that's 400,000 let go because we don't have enough money, right? So maybe 1 or 2 more episodes more where we're a mercenary. I dig the mercenary stage. It's kind of short and simple battles. And frankly, once you become a vassal with tactics like we have, the game is off to the races, right? We will quickly have an army of 600 that destroys everything. I don't care who they are. especially once you get to 800, 1,000, your influence starts to go nuts. And we have managed to kill box these boats. I should have described what I was doing. It's such a simple battle. But I just moved our boats in formation positions and then circled behind so that the enemy is completely surrounded by our 3 different boats. I wondered if you could do this. And next time I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. I mean, I guess I could over-narrate here. But what we've done is basically position the enemy directly in between all our 3 boats. And so the slaughter is on. They're getting drilled with arrows and throwing axes. And the crabs and the fishes and whatnot, the scavengers in this part of the ocean are going to eat really well because there's a whole lot of troops going to the bottom of the ocean, right? There's going to be very large crab colonies eating Valandian and Battanian units. They may not get any kills. We have them in such a bad position here. And again, those NORD ocean advantages, right? There's no question the advantages are sizable. Glaron Heavyhand is becoming a menace. There's a Lord here we can pulverize. Damn it. Yeah, gravity owns me again. We'll just... Excuse me. We'll just fast forward here. We had a death there at the end. That might be the only death we have in this battle. And now we'll wrap this episode up, right? This Valandian force got systematically exterminated. We had one guy who caught a hangnail, right? He caught an axe and it kind of cut his arm, and the whole Battanian force is just insta-killed. So kill box works. That didn't take long. Our first time we really try it. Of course, you got to have 2 medium-sized boats, or if they're really fast, it's going to be harder to pull off, but it works. We had one dude get injured. And we'll try to get more guides out. We'll use the custom battle menu, try to get you guys... We can use the RTS mod and give you overhead perspectives and stuff like that. I'm trying to think our next goal here. I think I want to terrorize this upper peninsula here. We can't really get off on this lower area. We're completely alone. It looks like we've taken the castles back, so we should have NORD help here soon, right? They're going to be NORD forces heading our ways. I'm sort of content with that for the shipboard side, at least for now, at least in the mercenary stage. As you can see, the NORDs are a potent force in the ocean. Most people know that already. They're designed to be, both by the game mechanics and historically. Now, what's interesting is I had a guy who definitely sounded like he knew what he was talking about. He said basically every major battle, the NORDs lost. So I'll have to check into that history a little bit more. If that's so, that's pretty fascinating. What it sounds like is they're guerrilla warfare, right? They kick ass when they have mobility and ambush. They go up a river where the big drafted boats can't go, raid villages, mangle armies, and then quickly get to their boats and get out of there. They're not, with smaller boats, they're not really designed to take Drummonds and take on huge boats in the open ocean. But we'll see. You certainly know we're going to try in this campaign. And this is a little bit like going into the dragon's lair. But I've got my fucking knight's sword and shield, right? We like dragons. We'll kill some dragons. Lots of EXP. And of course, the Valandians, as soon as we left, they're conquering the island. No surprise there. So let's terrorize some Battanian bitches. We can get some of their units as prisoners. And then we got to head home. We are toting a huge bag of loot. We've got to sort of take stock of stuff. We've got our boat right here, and I think we'll wrap this episode up right here. I'm going to do a real quick exit here. Thanks again, friends, for watching. If you want to see more from our no cavalry, no bow, no smithing campaign. Of course, we're using archers still. And the hornet's nest is kicked. They're pouring in. That's like 1,000. So we'll scurry on over here to our boat. Although, we might be able to do some serious guerrilla warfare here. Raid a village, pull some troops down, massacre them, get on our boat. Battanians swarming the shoreline, go back to the ocean, come back in, raid a village, kill some more Battanians. So maybe next episode we'll do some guerrilla warfare. Look, we got a lone duck that came separate from his flock. You're a dead man, and that's going to be next episode, friends. So, again, last time I'll say it, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you fellas. I appreciate every single comment, even if I don't respond to them all. Believe me, I read every comment. All right, friends, I will see you next time.